This is the Fifth Estate winning headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at some of the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is Friday, the 22nd of February, 2019, and I am 2J.
I am 2M.
And I am Miss K, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is the winning headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines. The Star. Chiloba exposes how Chebukati abused his office. Daily Nation. Dams scandal could sink 4 ministers. And finally, The Standard. How broke Italian farm got projects worth 91 billion shillings.
Wow.
What do you think today?
Well, I have to give it to the newspapers today.
Yes,
they all seem to be on the same page for once, and I know that's been a big piece of criticism we've had.
I know every time we'd come here and look at the papers, everyone would have their own headline, like they were pandering to a different audience. But I have to say this, the Fourth Estate is meant to tell us or to be or have its finger on the pulse, the heartbeat of the nation. So I think what they're telling us today, this unity of headlines is telling us that the nation is beating for and wants to speak about corruption.
Yeah.
It's not the first time, but anyway.
Yeah. So well done. Well done, newspapers.
But then now, what do we say about the stories themselves? I'd like to start with The Star.
Yes.
Okay. Chiloba exposes how Chebukati abused his office. Context, just short context. We all know and we publicly watched the infighting within IBC. I think it was quite interesting. We lost a commissioner.
Yeah.
We lost a few more, and now IBC is going through a hard time. Yeah. Very few commissioners. But anyway, Chiloba presented a report to the Public Accounts Committee and it exposed how Chebukati, in fact, the substance of the story is that he used his office
allegedly
as a tendering pot. So he would
a conduit for business.
A conduit for business. Tendering and getting and pushing those tenders the way of the secretariat and trying to push for specific firms to get specific jobs. And as is expected, Chebukati has denied the allegations.
The hunters become the hunted.
I don't know. And before you tell me what you're going to say, again, let me just bring back our viewers to our 3-point criteria that we use to break down the headlines. We ask ourselves 3 questions, and then we use those 3 questions to analyze the headlines and the stories themselves. We ask ourselves, are the stories topical, or are they speculative? Are they repetitive, or are they groundbreaking? And finally, are they thoughtful or intellectually lazy?
Absolutely.
And I feel like this story is premature. Park is about to give its report.
I think it's most definitely speculative.
Let me tell you, you two, this is a scheme. This is a scheme.
By The Star, by all 3 papers.
No. This is a
scheme
specific
story
to remove Chebukati from office, in my view.
But hasn't that scheme been going on for quite some time?
Definitely.
And both of you know I like being crazy, all right?
But
there is absolutely no way this can show up as a headline, right? On
From
this Friday, just like that.
And it reports to The Star from a letter to the Public Accounts Committee.
Absolutely.
Before they submit their report.
Yes.
Tabling Chiloba's evidence.
Some broke Italians are stealing our money and going to declare that they are bankrupt. And then The Star chooses to talk about Chiloba. Now, there is something here.
So what then do we say? Speculative?
Yes.
And lazy.
You know what?
But it shows some sort of investigative journalism.
Exactly. There's something relevant and topical about this, but I think it's too premature for us to form an opinion.
And let me tell you, by the way, I don't hold a brief for Chebukati, and I don't care whether he goes or remains. But
I can smell... We need to add more, or they all go.
That is the point. That is the point. I think there is a scheme that is being executed to get someone out of office. IBC is probably getting reconstituted.
I think the Public Accounts Committee will submit a report, and once they do, I think we'll have a more substantive story and be able to speak on this further. So what do we do? Table it or trash it?
Toss it.
I think we...
2M, do you agree?
Do you agree? Or do we table it?
No, let's keep it. You guys will prove me wrong in a couple of weeks.
All right, so as a story that develops...
Developing story, we table it.
Parking Bay, very
well. On to the next ones. Daily Nation and The Standard.
Can I handle both?
Yeah, sure.
But before you do that, I want to speak on the pessimism that cuts across all the papers. Are we a nation of just depressed people?
But they say bad news sells, huh?
And that's very true.
But still, I can't agree with you. There's a very pessimistic underlying undertone. There's a lot of negativity about Kenya, and a lot of seeing the negativity in Kenya.
Yeah.
And bringing that to the core.
Do we celebrate or do we complain?
Of our nation.
It's worrying.
It's worrying.
All right, break it down for us too.
Now, you have the nation. And the nation says dam scandal could sink 4 ministers.
Okay.
Right? Then you've got the standard. It says how broke Italian farm got projects worth 91 billion shillings.
You're alluding to a connection. What is the connection?
There's a connection here. Right? Now, the context of this is the dams. I think dams being built.
And we covered, I think, we've looked at this story for the past few days.
Yes, it's topical, but we've been seeing the similar headline just creeping up. It started with one newspaper, crept into the next, and now we have some sort of consistency.
Now look, you have 91 billion shillings worth of dams. But you know how much has been paid out to the Italian contractor?
One of these articles said 75% of the contract value.
15 billion shillings.
Okay.
Right? But that is not my point.
Okay,
right?
wait. 15 billion of 91.
Yes.
That's so that cannot
it's a deposit.
75%.
When you say projects worth 91 billion shillings, the newspapers want the public to think that 91 billion bob is lost.
Has vanished, yes.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to say is that the standard here is trying to arouse some specific kind of emotion.
Absolutely. When you go to the kiosks and you ask Wambua, Mutuku and all those other guys about this headline, they say, what
how will they summarize it?
91 billion shillings imeenda hivyo tu.
Well,
that's exactly what they will say.
One of the papers also alluded to a scandal bigger than Goldenberg.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. It was in the opening line of the story, if I remember correctly.
What speculation? I mean, I'm very troubled by the state of the fourth estate right now.
Same here.
I think that my issue right now that we had discussed earlier is the Standard is telling me one version of the story and the Daily Nation is telling me another.
But they're connected.
They are connected, definitely.
My problem.
But the fact that I have to sift through every line of the inside article to find out what's really happening means that they're just using their headlines to sell scary stories.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing, and I agree with you on that point, because each of the stories has differing amounts, and when I calculate, I come to differing conclusions.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, like, if I look, the projects that, for instance, the Italian firm got, I don't calculate 91 billion. If I use their amount, I get to 106.
Yes.
So am I saying that it's more?
Yeah.
So I feel like the content of the story, rather than removing the veil of ignorance from me as a reading public, a part of the reading public, it adds to that veil of ignorance. So I don't know whether that they're not investigating correctly, their sources are not giving them correct information, or it's a lie. Like you're saying, are they pushing an agenda? And I can't answer those questions. And because I can't answer those questions, I feel like we still have to dismiss the headlines and not have a winning headline.
One of these newspapers, I will not name which one, for 4 days, 4 out of 5, has been on this story.
Yes.
And it could be the story that they're pushing, and it's fine.
It's an agenda. But let me tell you, there's something I've done. I've done a little research of 31 projects all the way from 2013 until now. Right? Total value of these projects about, and this is in 2 counties, Kiambu and Nairobi, 121 billion bob. Right?
Are they complete or are they stalled?
Some complete, some not. Right? Most of them complete. Right? Then you go to SGR, about 800 and something billion shillings.
Okay, what's the point? Difference between that and this?
All of it amounts to 1 trillion bob of projects. Okay. Now you take 15 billion, divide by 1 trillion bob, comes to 1.5%.
So are you telling me that it is an allowable loss?
No, I think what 2M is trying to say,
I'm asking.
What 2M is trying to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, goes back to what we were saying just earlier, is that we're failing to recognize the success of the projects that are happening in this country.
That is the point.
Focusing on the negative.
We're focusing on the negative.
As opposed to the successful projects. And the successful projects outcost and outnumber the ones that have.
So you're not condoning corruption.
I'm not condoning corruption.
It's not that it's allowable.
I am saying, how can you spend 5 days of a week pointing or focusing on 1.5% of projects?
It's the parent who focuses on my bad math mark and forgets that I was good in biology.
You're talking about projects that are the GDP of two of our East African neighbors, right?
Let's make a decision.
I think at the end of the day, that becomes a call to the fourth estate.
Yes.
We need to focus on what this country is thriving at.
Absolutely.
Not every
so tell us
day
what
is
they're
a
doing
pessimistic.
good, even as you tell us where they could do better.
Let us celebrate the country and be positive.
Okay, so then let's make a determination. What do we say about the Daily Nation and the Standard? Topical?
Okay, now,
Repetitive?
my personal opinion,
Thoughtful.
I'm tired of the Standard. I would like to toss it.
Repetitive.
Repetitive, no new story, no imagination.
So not
lazy.
groundbreaking,
Not at all.
repetitive.
Can we add another category of whipping emotions?
Whipping up emotion. Does it whip up emotion or does it lift the veil
We're gonna
of
have
ignorance?
to send that up for approval before we send it out to the nation. So let's hold
Okay,
on.
hold on to that.
The Supreme Leader has spoken.
Approval. It is denied, but it is something that we can think about. But what do we say? Is it topical? Is it repetitive? Is it thoughtful? Is it lazy?
Repetitive and lazy. I'm tossing it.
And thoughtful.
You can't do it. I feel like they're twins. They're twins. One goes with the other.
All right, together. Goodbye.
All right.
On to our next category, the political opinions that we call cartoons in this country.
Yes.
June, we need our papers back.
All right. So where do we start?
Now you brought them again.
So how about we start with the Star, page 4.
Page 4, the Star. No, I feel like we're usually very kind to the Star. Let's look at everyone else.
Yeah.
I think we'll be prejudiced.
Yes.
Very well.
Here's this clip.
So again, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to analyze and break down the cartoons for you. We ask ourselves, are they humorous or are they dry? Are they satirical or are they pessimistic? And are they effective or are they just plain lazy? The Nation.
The Nation is
It's a continuation of the Help
of the Help saga.
Yeah.
All right. Now these are students throwing away their graduation cup.
Throwing up after graduating.
After graduating. Throwing up, not
throwing away.
Throwing
up in celebration.
And you see they're happy.
Yeah, it's in celebration. I mean, don't we all do it?
Yeah.
And what comes down?
And then these ones. Oh, is it
same
coming?
students?
Yes, it's
actually, these ones are coming. These things are coming down.
Exactly.
Right?
So they sent it up.
Yes. What's
and
coming
now
down?
This is coming down.
Handcuffs.
So the degree, the graduation and happiness, and the degree goes up, but the help comes down.
The help handcuffs come down, right? And you can tell the students look bewildered. They look. I mean,
they do, and again. I think there's a discolored gentleman here.
Yeah, I think he's saying
color coordination.
He's saying gun.
No, we still refuse the color coding of.
I think but I think what's interesting on the second half of this picture is the fact that the handcuffs are yet to reach their intended victims.
So they're on their way.
Yeah. So maybe I'm stretching it. Maybe the cartoonist is saying we're yet to see what this Help saga is going to bring.
But the threat is imminent, and you can see the fear in the faces of.
And there's no discrimination. This young lady could have a job that she's using to pay back her loans, but help might still come for her.
Yeah.
So I think it's an interesting cartoon.
Interesting one.
So what do we say? We haven't decided. What is it? Is it humorous? Did we laugh?
I giggled.
When you originally said it?
When I saw it, I giggled, yeah.
Okay, so humorous. Is it satirical or pessimistic? Or realistic?
It's not satirical. This is profound. To me, it brings sadness.
I think it falls somewhere in between those two words.
Yeah.
Is it then effective?
It's very effective.
I would say effective, yes.
Very effective.
Then we put it in the parking bay.
Yeah. Let's see what it is.
See what else. Let's see what it's up against. Standard.
Where is this one?
All right. I'm going to allow you guys to express your opinions before I express mine, because I know that
on this one
I have my feelings about Gado currently.
Yeah.
Okay.
The context
do not let that cloud your judgment on this particular cartoon.
It shall not.
And I think I like it.
Yeah. The context of this, sadly, it's on the lady that was found murdered, Caroline Martha, and I don't know whether this is in a morgue or what. What is it?
I think the context is. A memorial service was held for her in, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think I saw it on Citizen. Yeah.
And who's reading this? They say the
That's my question.
report clearly shows that you are pathological liars.
I like the play on pathological.
Liars,
pathological.
So we have three characters here. We have the DPP, the DCI, and a very short looking character who is the IG. Now 2M, as our resident conspiracy theorist, why do you think the IG has been shrunk in size? In fact, it looks like a child who's wearing his father's suit.
Is it a child? I see a beak.
It could be, maybe.
Is that a beak?
It looks like a duck. I'm not sure.
I think it's the front of the car.
Oh, the front of the car.
But these clothes of his are so oversized.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do you think that means?
I don't want to say it. You want me to get arrested?
No, I think you could say that. I think that it might.
Nah.
All right, so we're not going to
touching it.
We're not touching
it. But let's touch what they said. So Caroline Wala, the implication here is that we're not buying the report that she died in a botched abortion.
Yes. Yeah. And
that sentiment was what came out in that memorial service. So I don't know, because was she pregnant? Yes. Did she die? Yes. Was she investigating in some extrajudicial killings? Yes. Are these things related? We don't know.
But one thing is for sure, I think Gado for the entire week has proven himself today.
I like this cartoon.
Yeah.
I like it.
Of the entire week, I'll give this to him.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because what he's managed to do is he's managed to plant the seed in the court of public opinion. Was she murdered by X or was she murdered by Y?
I'm going to stop you right there. I think to say that he's planting the seed is fanciful. He's not planting the seed, and this is actually why I held my remarks until
this moment. Please tell us your remarks.
Literal. It's far too literal. I mean, he's telling us something we already know, and I said this yesterday as well.
I don't know. You know.
His cartoons are telling us what I'm going to read in an article, what I discuss with my friends at the bar, what I see on the television, on the radio. I mean,
okay. For the previous cartoons, I can give him that, but for today's, I like the play on words, and I like that he did that. So
and it's in bold,
what do we say? What do we say?
So now because it's in bold, it's funny.
You probably don't get it.
All right, maybe I don't get it.
Okay, what do we say? Humorous, dry.
I don't
satirical,
like,
pessimistic.
I do not like this cartoon, so I'll allow you guys to no.
But I somewhat agree with her because everyone else has been thinking the same thing.
That they're pathological liars.
No.
That the story does not add up.
Yeah.
Then I'll put it in the parking bay.
Yes.
Can I toss it?
No,
all right, parking bay.
Parking bay.
I am not the dictator.
Parking bay.
Dictator, we know.
Resolution of the Vatican Conference on Pedophilia.
Lastly, the star.
A cartoon.
Instantly, this was by far my favorite cartoon of the day.
And I think I'm biased towards this cartoon, this particular cartoon.
Same here.
I love it. I love the play on the cones of shame that the priests are wearing.
Yeah. So maybe people don't know the cone of shame is something that is usually put on dogs once they visited the vet so that they don't scratch or get to their injuries or their scars.
And it's called the cone of shame because once a dog wears it, they get this really sad, shameful look as they sit there with that cone poking out of their head.
And so I had two thoughts about the cone.
Have you seen where the cones are?
On their hands.
Yes.
So I think for me, I saw two things. Scratch that. I saw two things with the cone. The first thing is that their hands are
under punishment. So
they're under punishment. They cannot be naughty.
Yes.
But the second thing that I thought, and maybe that was not the intention, was that they're not able to carry out their duties. They cannot pray.
Bless or pray.
They cannot pray. They cannot bless their subjects or whatever. So I don't know.
I love it. And I like that play. You see, when you look at a cartoon and it's layered in its interpretation, that's what makes it a winning cartoon. So can we say that this is our winning cartoon?
But we haven't said the Pope is blessing them.
Exactly. The Pope is blessing them as well.
Is blessing.
But then there's one African Pope who, have you noticed there's an African?
What does that have to do with the...
Have you ever seen an African being
charged with this?
Doing these things?
No, we don't know.
I don't know how far-reaching the report is. We do know that Latin America was the most devious.
Oh, really?
And America. America the Great.
Okay, maybe he's from South America.
We will not speculate as to the identity or origin of said bishops.
I think it's to represent the bishops that exist in the Catholic world. Yeah. And I honestly will say, Victor Ndula is quite honestly becoming one of my favorite cartoonists in this country.
I agree.
I think Gado needs to pull his socks up and go find some imagination, because this guy is really coming for him.
He is really coming for him. So can we agree this is our winning cartoon? The Star is our winning cartoon. It is effective.
I agree.
It is satirical.
Yes.
And it is humorous.
Most definitely.
Have a great weekend, guys. This is Winning Headlines. See you next week.